Great Awakening Light Lords, Grand Rising to those who have not yet awoken, to know that objective thinking overrules subjectivity. It overrules all other types of thinking. It is the direct observation of nature, the breakdown of the information taken from nature to be applicably integrated into one's own perception or experience, and then to be regurgitated and given out as understanding, as more knowledge, expansion, as an expansion of one's own experience, allowing others to have a taste of or a replication of that experience within their own perception or experience of life. Now, today, look at what I got today. I went to a China kitchen restaurant, and after eating, they give you fortune cookies, and this is what the fortune I got today. If the brain were so simple, we couldn't understand it. We would be so simple we couldn't. If the brain were so simple we could understand it, we would be so simple that we couldn't. Basically saying that if the brain was made to only understand simple things, to only understand literal things, things that are just, right in your face, then we would be made to only understand that and not be able to look from other different perspectives and to expand one's own awareness. Then we wouldn't be able to do that. We would just live day by day, just off of basically ignorance. We'd just be living day by day off ignorance, which a lot of people are today. But there are people that are out there that, take their perceptions and effectively observe nature, take the principles and guidance that they've gotten from nature, and integrate them into their thought patterns. So we need to begin to ask ourselves, what is subjective and what is objective? Objectivity comes from observing things that you see and experience and seeking the truth behind it. Seeking where it comes from, why, how does it work, how it works, and basically knowing a thing, understanding a thing. And then taking that thing, the principle from that thing, the moralistic value from that thing, that experience. That experience that cannot be disproved. It is always, repeated. It's something that happens It's something that happens all the time that you cannot disprove. Something that you can actually take and use frequently and show others that it works. Okay, that's objectivity. Objectivity is basically taking something and studying it for exactly what it is and not based on anyone's opinion or view. It's not based on anyone's opinion or view. Radiant's not in here. I haven't seen her go outside. She was in there trying on clothes. Now, this is what we should be looking towards. We should be looking towards objective thinking, objectivity, things that we can actually take scientifically, apply as an experiment, as an experience of the mental. She's not in here.
You better put.
It is an experience.
Put that, see that plastic bag in the mail.
So yeah, objectivity is what we should be looking towards because those are facts that cannot be disproven. Okay, that is not based off one's own interpretation or one's own point of view. These are facts that no matter what point of view you have, this is what always happens when you use this type of information. Okay? Subjectivity is basically anything that's based on your own opinion or your own imagination or what you can see based on your own experiences that you went through personally. And not everyone's views will line up, okay, evidently based on all of the different dogmas and societal structures and cultures that we have in the world. So now what we need to do is address people that only view things subjectively without understanding themselves. Okay? So what we really be doing is, like, if there is a situation where there's a person that basically just says, okay, I feel this way just because, something that I've been through or whatever I think, without any objective fact behind it. They have belief, but they don't have faith because they don't have any objective facts behind it backing that belief in order to, use that information that they have to create knowledge, to create more of a knowing and understanding and a wisdom from it. And these are the people that we need to address. And if there's anyone that's says they're using things objectively and only viewing from their subjective mentality and not after actually gathering all of the facts together and seeing the oneness within everything and how everything works, then we need to address those people too. Okay? So there's subjectivity and there's objectivity. Subjectivity is based on your own personal view of what you think happens. Objectivity is based on what actually happens, what is, and what you can use and can be repeated and can never be disproved and can always be proven. Okay? Now, emotions, okay? Now, a lot of people say that just because they feel a certain way, that is, that's what it is. Basically, there's a lot of spiritual communities and spiritual societies and ideologies that say truth is perception. Okay, truth is whatever you think it is, but that's not true. Okay, that is not true. That is a fallacy. That is a Luciferian ideology, which is not necessarily evil or bad. It is just not totally constructive to the reality or the realm that we exist in, which is the all, which is the mind of God, which is the mind of God, expanding itself through the expressions and representations of principles and morals within itself. Okay, so these are infinite principles and morals that we should be looking at. Now, objective people that say that that they're no matter what, they feel a certain way about something, about a certain principle, about a certain experience or certain situation. They feel a certain way about it, and they say they won't change their point of view because of their feelings and not because of the actual facts. Okay, not because of the actual in-depth study. And those people need to actually analyze their emotions and actually know what emotions are and what feelings are and what perceptions of you are and what certain views of life and perceptions actually are. Okay, now if you don't, you need to actually go study how the sun gives life here. Okay, you actually need to study how the sun gives life here. Okay, astronomy, how all of the planetary bodies work in total unison to create this reality. These are objective facts. Okay, they do not, they don't fight with one another over which planet is the best planet. We don't see stars fighting over one another to see which star is the best star. You see, we don't look up in the sky and see stars just colliding with one another, constantly, all the time. So we need to start observing nature and see how this all plays an effect in our human existence, in our human reality, the human race, the human part of nature. Okay, because to consciously go against humans have the ability to consciously go against their own nature. Okay, as a part of a learning process, a learning development. So we need to actually start taking things intellectually, start taking all of our subjective thought forms, all of our perceptions or views, and intellectualizing them and matching them up with others, intellectualized or objective views to see if they are in line with the total truth. Okay, the total truth. That's the reason that a lot of these spiritual communities and spiritual ideologies say that truth is experience. Truth is just your perception of you, is because is because everything is a half truth until you actually take knowledge and apply it to your life and make it applicable. Okay, so with these emotional people that say that no matter what, no matter what, I feel this way about it. I feel this way about it, or I have this certain perception about it. So that mean that full perception is my total truth. They're putting themselves in a box. You put yourself in a box when you say things like that. You're basically not making yourself open to awareness, open to other perceptions, and aligning yourself with objective reality, which is reality that no matter what perception of you have, that you must adhere to if you wish to have a positive and blissful life and know as much as you can about yourself. Okay, in your lifetime. So these people need to be addressed, and we need to actually show them the objective facts, show them that emotions are thoughts. Emotions are nothing more than repeated thoughts, repeated forms of similar and different thoughts built upon or constructed on top of each other over and over and over again, an imp- creating a self-writing program. First, there are conscious thoughts. Feelings, feelings are first conscious thoughts. These conscious thoughts, being after being pulled to the forefront of the mind so many times and focused on through awareness, okay, and concentration and imagination, these programs begin to start writing themselves and become habits. Okay, they come from your ethics and values, and then they become manners and habits and your character. They basically create what type of character you are, what type of person you are within this game, this video game, or this movie, this drama, okay, of life. See, but once you start taking everything in yourself as a symbol, seeing the whole reality as a symbol, then you will begin to understand, okay? But then you will also see that emotions, my single perception is not the full truth. My single perception is not the full truth because I have not experienced the full truth. Okay, by experiencing the full truth, you must, in order to experience the full truth, you must actually use, you must actually break down your emotions. You must see that emotions are thoughts. Okay, you must actually break down your emotions, break down your right thoughts, break down your abstract ideas and concepts intellectually, and break them down into left brain thinking. Once those right brain thoughts and actions and types and ways of thinking, all of that subjectivity is broken down objectively, then you will begin to see which parts of your subjectivity are beneficial for you and which parts are not beneficial according to the objective reality. Okay, and that is something that no matter what emotion you're in, whether you're sad, depressed, or in cognitive dissonance, or you don't want to understand it, or you feel like you don't want to understand it, or you feel like that understanding is not beneficial for you. It's totally beneficial for you because it cannot be disproved. That is something that can be repeated over many times. Okay, this is objective facts. So I just want to just talk about how there are deeper levels of awareness. There are deeper levels of awareness and perceptions to view things from. The point is to put all of these perceptions together to actually break down these perceptions into different formats, into actual logical, sentences and statements, and actual experiences, because a lot of our programs, a lot of our self-writing programs comes from what we experienced, okay? Not from what we just, not from what we've just, analyzed through reading a book or writing or any type of writing or hearsay, okay? A lot of us have taken misinformation and have integrated it into our lives, so now we experience misinformation, and now their truth, their whole truth of their lives in the now is misinformation. So they're suffering. They're in a state of suffering, and this is what we call hell. Hell is that mind state where you're constantly suffering and trying to search for the truth. Okay, or you just give up. You don't even search for the truth. You just say, well, this is how I feel about it. This is my perception. I don't care what anybody else says. This is what I'm gonna do. I don't give a damn what anybody says, and it's against objective thinking. If it's against objective thinking, then you're not in tune. You're not actually experiencing the truth. You're experiencing a half truth. You're experiencing a misinformed version of the truth. Okay. or lower level of the truth when you can be experiencing higher vibrations. So please take in this information, share if you care, share and subscribe. I love myself. I am Jah Mashiach, and I am here to live out and teach higher wisdom. And we need to get we need to get all of this together for the collective consciousness, for everybody to be based in objective facts and objective reality. Okay, even though they have their own personal views, there has to be balance. There has to be a balance between your subjective mind and your objective mind. And if your subjective mind overrules your objective mind, then you won't be using the powers that you have deep within your cells and your genes and your other dimensions and planets. You won't be using them to the best of your ability. You will only be using them in your own la la la, your la la land. Basically, you're in your own bubble. It's just a bubble. It's a bubble spirituality. It's basically just keeping you away from the actual environment that you're in. Basically keeping your mind closed. Keeping your mind closed. So we should study objective facts as much as possible. And when we have a theory, okay, a hypothesis or a theory, which means it hasn't been deemed a scientific statement, something that has been experimented with and proven to be something that repeats itself every time you do the experiment. Then we need to question that. We need to question that. We need to question all of these things that we say are true. There are really only half truths. They're not half truths because when they're actually taking the information and actually using it to get finite results. Okay.
Daddy,
So.
look. My fingernail came off.
Oh man. So yeah, that's it, man. I love myself, Jah Mashiach. Hey, go to my YouTube, subscribe to my other pages, and let's get this information together for the collective consciousness. For the collective consciousness. Okay, objective thinking. Objective thinking is natural thinking. Okay, think naturally. Think naturally. Look at things symbolically. Okay, we're not only meant to look at things literally all the time, straight. We have to actually look to seek out where things come from and to get the whole truth. We should actually seek out the whole truth, okay, and experience it for ourselves so we can know it's true, not just intellectualize it. Okay, you take the right brain thinking, the so-called random information, or the so-called abstract concepts. You intellectualize them to where they can actually become possibilities in the actual in the realm that you exist in and experience reality. And then you take that information that you intellectualize logically to say, okay, this is how it can logically happen, and you experiment with it over and over and over again in different ways to see the ins and the outs of your mental construction and the logic within it. Okay, and then fix it up and see how everything works, and then basically improve it, and expand it, and bring it into physical reality, physical manifestation and experience. Okay, this is the truth of our reality, and we need to give this truth to everyone. Everyone should become scientists like the babes, should become more like children so they can enter the kingdom of heaven and the kingdom of God. Okay, the meek ones that will inherit the earth, the future earthlings, the owners. Okay, get away from subjective thinking. We're not don't actually get away from it, but actually tune your subjectivity to fall in the lines within the lines of objectivity as much as possible, and that's how you keep the balance. Okay, I love myself. Peace.